Okay, Colby, here you go. This is our first Foundry. It's the flower pot Foundry from the King of Random. We decided to make 3 of these one weekend. So this is the very first one. It's a little bit dirty because I had an accident with my oil pressure tank and got oil everywhere. This is the new Foundry that I made from a 5-gallon paint can. I like this one better because it isn't galvanized. I learned some things about galvanized steel. Basically, it's really toxic. As you can see, it's quite a bit deeper, and it's a really bad video, but there you go. I already fired it up, made sure it was going to work fine. You'll notice that the air hole is offset from center, so it blows in at an angle and ends up being vortex when it's all fired up. Really bad picture of the end of the nozzle I built, and pretty much can't see anything. But later on there's a little more footage where you can kind of see the brass fitting I used for that. I just drilled a little hole in it. This is a PVC pipe just attached to a steel pipe that isn't galvanized. And yes, duct tape will fix everything. Just showing how everything's been soldered a slightly larger piece of pipe onto a copper pipe onto some other copper pipe that's a little bit smaller onto a 1/4 inch pressure fitting. This is the tank that I bought online. It's a semi-tractor trailer air tank that I put some brass fittings in for my compressor, 1/4 inch brass fittings. Here's a better picture of the nozzle I built. I want to improve this later by centering it better. I just drilled a 1/32 hole in the end of that brass plug, which once we had the Foundry going, that was the first firing. I built this crucible out of just angle iron. It's just steel. Steel having a melting point of I think it's 2300 degrees. I was melting some aluminum in it, and as you can see, there's some really interesting crystals here of steel and aluminum melted together. I don't know what alloy that makes, but apparently a crystalline one. And as you can see, the Foundry gets hot enough to melt steel, which is a pretty interesting development.
Why is it so far away?
Hold the umbrella for me. I don't want to get to it. Okay.
What?
It's almost full. Turn the camera off now. That's how the other ones are supposed to be, you know, the stuff in seconds.
Careful, it doesn't break. Why are we talking about Hold on.
Okay, Colby. Here's a video I put together for you. Here in this picture, you see the first flower pot foundry that we put together. This is from the King of Random website, and it worked really well. It melted aluminum very quickly. It didn't get hot at all, as you can see, because the paper label is still on there and completely unburned. This is our new foundry. I more powered this. I totally toolman tailored this. And Tim the Toolman tailored this. As you can see, I offset the air inlet. It's quite a bit bigger inside. One thing I don't like about this Foundry is when I put the form inside, it was slightly too large, so the refractory lining is a little bit thin on this. I already fired it up, and it seems to stay relatively cool. The first firing was hot enough to melt steel. This is a really bad picture of the supposed to be nozzle in there, but you can't see it because for some reason my flash won't come on, and there's no light in there. So hopefully I'll get a better picture of that in a minute. This is just how I set up the air from our shop vac. I found out that the little blower that I had isn't really strong enough to push enough air in there, so it won't keep things hot enough. That's a picture of the T connection that I used to go from my pressurized oil tank into the air line. The air line has
It's another
a
one because
connector on it that goes into.
It's still rolling.
The compressor hose over there, the blue one. This is a picture of the shut-off valves for the pressure tank. This is just a pressure tank I found on the internet. I think it's a semi-tractor trailer tank. There's a better look at the little spray nozzle I made. That's a 1/32 hole at the end of that. I may try to modify that later. I would like it to have a finer spray. And
For some reason,
here you can see the
aluminum
steel crucible I made out of angle iron. It
Can I see that
melted in
again?
several places there. This was pretty dramatic.
maybe it's a harder
What
aluminum
happened.
than the
Here you can
cans
see
were, 'cause it actually
some sort
some
of
of it came off the
crystalline
saw.
structures that formed when this happened. I don't know what alloy
We gotta get that.
steel and aluminum make, but
Maybe.
it's kind of interesting to look at. There you see just a regular old
Solid, so maybe
drip line garden hose. It's plenty